Hello, this video is for Mark in particular, but everybody else might get a kick out of it too. His question was how to keep the ends of the wire from being pokey on the roots. And pokey wire is definitely a problem. It'll make you bleed. Really good at poking your eye out too. And the best way I found to deal with wire being pokey is to modify my snips a little bit. Some people call these dikes. You can see, unfortunately, I got a little bit of acid wash on them. I forget what I was doing, but they're not real rusty. It's important that you find a pair of snips that doesn't have a lot of play in the handles. Like if you're pushing one handle up and the other handle down, it doesn't wiggle. You can tighten that up somewhat if you take a punch and hit it real hard right here. But I just like to find ones that are tight to begin with, and then make sure to keep your snips oiled up once in a while so that you don't wear the metal away and make them loose. These are just a really cheap pair of Harbor Freight snips, by the way. I don't like to spend too much money on snips because there's no reason to, and eventually they wear out and you got to get a new pair. But what I did with this is I used one of these diamond can bits. You can see the diamonds there on the edge. And what I did is I modified the thing. You hold them just right and then run that can up and down the snips so that you get a, let's see, flip this over, a lower profile on this inner cut right there. So I want that, especially towards the end, to be real precise. And then on the back side, you'll notice on the front here, let me see if I can get the thing to focus. Come on, there we go. You'll see, oh, there we go. You can see that edge there. That's the edge that I sharpened to keep them sharp. And you want that edge, you know, to be about 10 degrees. You don't want it when you first get the snips. It's almost a 30-40 degree angle, and that's why, once again, I use that diamond can. There goes the focus. To, you know, get a hollow ground, I think they call it in there. And then on the back side, most of the time, let's get the focus going on here. You'll also have a sharpened edge that is like at a 30-degree angle or somewhere around there on the back side of the snips. And the secret to getting a nice square cut is to get rid of that angle. So if I turn this flat here, you can see that's flat ground. There's really no grinding of an edge there. Basically, the way I do that is you can take a file, and once you get most of that gone, then I go to this diamond plate, and these are available at Harbor Freight. They're part of a diamond knife sharpening block, but I actually peel the diamond plates off of the plastic, and then I cut them and I glue two together because I don't see the need for me to have any really big block. So you can see that's just two plates glued together. And how I sharpen these snips most of the time is I'll just take them in till I get a nice edge on the back side. But now, okay, how you use these? Well, let's start with this piece of wire first. Can we get a focus? Now that's the wire cut with the back end of the snips like this. If your snips are sharpened properly and you get a nice 90-degree angle there, you're going to end up with a really square cut. Come on, focus, baby. Okay, and that's going to be the least pokey cut you can do on the wire, is a nice 90-degree cut like that. You can see the end where the snips met. They didn't meet exactly in the center. That's because one's just a little sharper than the other one. But this type of wire, it's going to have a hard time actually puncturing your skin. You can press pretty hard and it's not going to make a hole. But now if I cut with the other side of the snips, what do we get? We get what's known as a chisel point. It's hard to see there. But now that particular sharp edged point, if I press too hard, will go right into my skin, because it's actually pretty sharp there on the end, and I'm not going to poke a hole in my hand just for the fun of it. Let's see if we can get that to focus a little better. So that's how to get non-pointy roots. Now when I'm trimming, when I'm trimming my wire for my trees, if I'm just trimming ends off to make them shorter, like, you know, where the leaves are going to be, I always remember to cut like this. So I leave that 90-degree square edge, because I'm dealing with, you know, 350 some strands, and they're really long, and I kind of whip them around all over the place, and they tend to whip around and then hit me right on the end. So I cut square ends, because otherwise, when I whip those around, they're likely to puncture me. I had one go right through my cheek once and hit me in the tooth. So if you want to be safe, cut square ends on your wire as much as you can. And Mark's question was about the roots. So that kind of helps with the roots. But the roots are all double twist, and once again we can do, like if you do a square cut, nice square end on the root. So that's going to be least pokey. But I like to cut my roots like this. I use the square end, but I cut them at an angle, so if this was a root, I'm underneath the tree like this. Well, and what that gives me is a real sharp point. And that point would be facing down, so that'd be the top of the root as you're looking at it, and that would be the side. Let me do that again. That one wasn't quite perfect. And there you can see, but that leaves a really sharp pointy point on the end of it. But that's the way I like my roots to end, because that's the way I like it. There, perfect. And so yeah, my roots will make me bleed if I rub against them. But hope you enjoyed the video. Cut square ends, be safe.